A quiet storm has hit the Philippines. Once bustling beaches and heritage towns now sit largely empty, their hotels and restaurants half closed. Official data shows the country's tourism recovery still lagging. For instance, foreign arrivals in Q1 2025 were 25% below the same quarter in 2019. The Department of Tourism even admits it will have to recalibrate its targets after last year's 5.95 million visitors fell nearly 23% short of its goal. But beyond numbers and headlines, this is a human story. In each corner of the archipelago, people who once lived off tourism are suddenly watching their world change. Today we travel across 10 provinces, from Palawan's islands to Batanes' windswept hills, to witness the unseen toll of tourism's collapse. You may not have heard this on the news, but the ground is already shifting. Number 1. Palawan. Palawan's turquoise lagoons and rugged limestone cliffs are famous worldwide. Today, these natural wonders see far fewer faces. Dive guides and boat operators speak in hushed tones about empty harbors and cancellations. Environmental degradation is part of the story. Damaged reefs and silted bays from nearby development have made some coral gardens barren. Over-tourism backlash adds another twist. In recent years, El Nido and Coron introduced strict visitor limits and new permits. Cruise ships that once crowded Honda Bay rarely call anymore. Locals describe a growing emptiness. A park ranger in Puerto Princesa quietly remarks that even the birds seem unhurried now. Governance issues loom too. Illegal resorts have been closed, cutting off jobs for many families. In Palawan's villages, optimism has dimmed. A former tour boat captain sighs, "We dreamed with tourists. Now my children ask if this island is still their home." The silence here feels profound, as if the reefs and rivers are waiting to heal, or to speak on our behalf. Number 2. Aklan, Boracay. Boracay was the poster child of Philippine tourism, white sand crowds barely months ago. Now, even its famous sunset is quieter. Strict rehabilitation rules and environmental laws have dramatically thinned out the scene. Wastewater fines and caps on daily visitors mean some hotels stand empty. Government crackdowns, launched after 2018, finally took full effect by 2023. Local businesses feel betrayed. A boat captain notes that what used to be dozens of scuba divers waiting on para boats are now as few as 5 on a good day. The cause is partly reputational. Word spread about closures and restrictions. So many travelers rerouted their holidays to other islands. Over-tourism backlash collided with pandemic lag. International tourists, once Boracay's lifeblood, still haven't fully returned. Even Chinese tour groups, which fueled its growth, have become rare sights. One local told reporters they were already quite limited before new travel advisories even emerged. A mamang vendor, who used to sell leis on the beach, now weaves bracelets for passing scooter tours. They whisper that this isn't just a dip in numbers, but a quiet rebalancing. Boracay today feels like someone paused a party mid-song. The rhythm exists, but the dancers are gone. Number 3. Cebu. Cebu Province, anchored by Cebu City and Mactan Island, has long been a tourism hub. Now the broad streets of Cebu City's historic district see far fewer foreign cameras clicking. Metro hotels are half empty. Conference halls lie unused. Several factors collided here. Infrastructure bottlenecks frustrated visitors. Cebu's new airport took years to finish, and frequent flights to the city still lag behind those of regional rivals. Costs rose too. A beach resort owner complains that ferry and fuel prices, plus inflation, have made weekend getaways too expensive for many Filipino families. Environmental concerns hit the coast as well. Beach resorts in North Cebu canceled bookings after repeated coral bleaching, and fishermen off Mobile speak of dwindling catches as construction spills into their waters. Yet it's governance issues that sting the most. Grand tourism projects stall, and local leaders admit some funds meant for tourism promotion were reallocated, leaving businesses without support. A once bustling seaside inn has closed. Its owner quietly says he had to let workers go. And still, tourists compare notes. "We flew through Manila for nothing," jokes one Canadian traveler, noting flights to Cebu are scarce. In Cebu's heart, there's a subdued patience now, and a constant hope that things will pick back up. Number 4. Bohol. Bohol's lush rivers and chocolate hills once drew crowds eager to see tarsiers and dive shipwrecks. Today, stories of drama in 2023 loom large. In March, a tanker accident spilled oil along its shores, harming coral reefs and shutting dive tours. Tour guides describe spots once vibrant with fish now eerily lifeless for months. Even away from the spill, the island wrestles with climate shifts. Hotter summers lead to fewer migratory birds at its famous sanctuary, and local farmers worry the soil is tired. Word spread, beachgoers turned elsewhere, fearing water quality. The aftermath is visible. Patched oil-stained sandbags still line old hotel entrances, long after cleanup trucks departed. Yet Bohol's people endure with quiet strength. A resort worker, once overseas, returned home when tourism paused, and now shuttles coconut produce to market instead. Mothers at Panglao lament that tourists no longer linger for their snacks, and waiters serve from half-empty lunch tables. It's not a number in a report, it's a slowing of daily life. A fisherman on Alona Beach murmurs that we used to dream about selling tours to strangers. Now our dreams are all of next sunrise. The hills and forests watch, hopeful that the island's spirit will survive the quiet season. Number 5. Surigao del Norte, Siargao. Siargao Island is famous for its surfing waves and laid-back vibe. Yet in the past year, even Cloud9's lineup seems subdued. The local government instituted new rules in early 2023 to curb overcrowding, requiring tourists to fill out tourism consent forms, promising responsible behavior. The effect was immediate. The once-packed island slows down. Flights sometimes leave seats unfilled. Longtime surfers say the water is as warm as ever, but fewer boards carve through its swells. People here tell us it's due to over-tourism backlash. Locals blamed earlier summers of trash-filled shores on careless guests, so now they insist on private guided tours only. Infrastructure also strained. Landslides and broken bridges, a legacy of 2021's Odette typhoon, make some bays hard to reach. So tour operators have no choice but to reroute or cancel. A dormitory manager in General Luna notes that she's had to cut costs, turning 3 floors of rooms into 1. Yet when you talk to her, she's stoic. We've seen big waves. She smiles, not only on the sea. Siargao's answer to crowding might make it quieter, but locals feel it's necessary. The music on island night outs still plays reggae and folk tunes, but with fewer people dancing. For now, Siargao listens to the ocean's whisper instead of the buzz of beachgoers. Number 6. Ilocos Norte. Far up in the north, Ilocos Norte's wide wind farms and historic churches greet fewer pilgrims. The Malacanang of the North Museum at Paoe Lake once echoed with tours. Today, it's often empty as restoration debates drag on. Infrastructure woes bite here too. The coastal highway suffered washouts in Typhoon Agay, and repairs lag, making weekend road trips less appealing. Visitors also mention a different kind of fatigue. Political scandals and noise about mining have dampened the romantic allure of the area. Fewer foreign tours book the famed sand dunes, and boutique hotels report rooms left vacant even during festive Semana Santa. One Balikbayan returnee joked on camera that tourists now prefer Ilocos' neighbor, Laos, over visiting Marcos's museum. Locals try to spin this with a shrug. They've always been resilient against neglect. An elderly widow selling empanadas at a road stop now packs up her stall by noon, expecting no customers in the afternoon. But in the golden light of Bongi, even the windmills seem to catch their breath. Ilocos Norte's landscape stands the same, but those who live there quietly admit the wind of tourism has changed direction. Number 7. Batanes. Batanes is known as the widow's eyes of the Philippines, a remote cluster of islands where ocean storms often brew. Its isolation, which once felt like a pristine refuge for travelers, is now part of the challenge. Typhoon Fari in 2023 was devastating, the strongest on record to hit the islands. It destroyed boat docks and roofs. Many tour vessels still sit ashore, awaiting repairs that may take years. Even minor storms now prompt cancellations out of fear. The environment is stubbornly beautiful, but few can enjoy it. With travel so uncertain, people have adapted quietly. High school teachers even offered their empty vacation rooms as shelters during bad weather. and now look around at rooms that might never host guests again. A tour guide laughs softly when asked about tourism. Batanes either has too much wind or not enough passengers, she says. Another fisherman gazes at the harbor and adds, "They say nothing's changed here, and yet everything feels different. The rolling hills and stone houses remain, but the rhythm of daily life has shifted." Over dinner, families speak in hushed tones, wondering if the young will stay after school or seek work on the mainland. For now, Batanes is holding its breath, trusting its land will recover, and that someday boats will return to these shores. Number 8. Sorsogon. In the Baikal province of Sorsogon lies Donsol, once famous for whale shark tourism. Between 2015 and 2019, hungry travelers flocked here hoping to snorkel with gentle giants. But now, even those patient giants seem harder to find. Guides note that climate shifts have altered plankton blooms, with fewer sharks feeding near the shore. Visitors often leave disappointed. The World Wildlife Fund had lauded Donsol's sustainable tourism model, but tourism numbers still faltered after COVID. And local boat captains question if new regulations spooked tourists. A captain named Rico remembers days with 10 clients. Now he rarely has more than 2. The holidays used to book out. He says ruefully, "Now we pray for anyone." Business owners feel the pinch. Souvenir shops display faded postcards of whale sharks and jellyfish. They lament that the news they hear often involves shark-feeding tours in other countries, not their own. Even rural bus drivers along the coastal roads pass quieter resorts. But the people remain hopeful. In Donsol, optimism is part of the culture. A hotel clerk still flashes a polite smile, explaining that this pause gives the ocean a rest too. Behind her smile is a resolve. She's saving for tougher days, recalling that a tourist might come around tomorrow and fill her empty sheets. For now, Sorsogon's waters reflect a silent question. Will the sharks and the people soon re-emerge? Number 9. Pangasinan. Along the Lingayen Gulf, Pangasinan's beloved 100 Islands National Park now hosts mostly local picnickers. The park's namesake limestone islets sit quietly as the ferry docks slow to a whisper. Years of underinvestment in infrastructure show. The once paved approach roads crumble in parts, and a leaking sewage pipeline nearby has given some bays an odor that keeps swimmers away. Officials had grand visions, amusement centers and new hotels, but mismanagement stalled those projects. Instead, local entrepreneurs point to 2 years of reports on fish kills or algae, events which scare off beachgoers. A young mother selling halo halo on an islet notes that foreign couples who once bathed in the clear sea have not returned. Even Visayan tourists are choosing longer established resorts up north instead. The impact is human. She has started raising chickens now for a steadier income, murmuring, "Here, kids usually watch tourism, but these days they watch chicken eggs." Yet, as sunset gilds the bay, anglers still cast lines hoping for a catch. The limestone knolls remain guardians of memory, plucky silhouettes against the sky, suggesting that even if tourism slipped away, something deeper holds on to Pangasinan's shores. Number 10. Albay. In Albay, the perfect cone of Mount Mayon used to be the icon on every postcard and travel blog. Today, the volcano stands serene but a little lonely. In 2020 and 2021, Mayon's eruptions and earthquakes scared visitors away, and the scars remain. Tour buses from Legazpi City roam fewer times a day, and restaurants specializing in Bicolano dishes now serve mostly locals. Climate change plays its part too. Hotter, stormier weather has shortened beach seasons, leaving Boracay goers to seek cooler spots. One tour operator quietly canceled this year's summer raft rentals because the river ran too shallow, a casualty of an ongoing drought. The city park that once held festivals to celebrate the volcano's beauty is empty more often than not. Still, resilient Albayanos are adapting. A park usher who once handed out maps of Mayon now heads up a community garden, planting vegetables instead of guiding tours. Families remind each other, sometimes with a wink, that Mayon has survived centuries. Perhaps their tourism will return in time. As evening falls over the docks at Tiwi, a fisherman returns early with his catch. He glances at the silhouette of Mayon against the purple sky, and for a moment it's like they are both waiting. Behind Albay's calm is a quiet hope that come morning, anything might shift back toward brighter days. In each of these provinces, the silence is not simple absence, it's a sign. Official figures confirm it. The Philippines is far from its tourism goals, and those unmet targets represent real dreams put on hold. More than a statistic, the downturn has human faces, families who lost jobs, small business owners watching savings shrink, children asking if their home will ever hum with travelers again. We've traveled through Palawan's reefs, Boracay's shores, Cebu's cities, and beyond to meet them. They want the world to see that tourism wasn't just an industry, it was their life. Yet these quiet crises teach a lesson. In today's world, no place is safe from change, not even paradise. If we stay long enough to listen, we realize that these provinces, too, have a story, softly spoken, but powerful. Ultimately, it's a reminder that behind every vacant beach or closed inn is someone's tomorrow still being written, and it deserves to be heard. If this video made you think differently, even for a moment, hit the like button. Subscribe to Discovering the Earth. Thank you.